So after all that hard talking and all of that chest bumping, the presidents of Mexico and Canada have yielded to the United States of America. I know you've seen a lot of people on social media make it seem like this was the end when Trump decided he wanted to put tariffs on these nations. And this time, Donald Trump proved something that every American should realize. The United States of America is the most powerful country on the face of the earth. And when we say we want to do something, other nations, including our allies, have to strongly consider what we say or face the consequences. To be honest with you, we could wrap the video up after that statement. However, there's a bigger point that I want to make in this video. Welcome to the Mr. Wilson's Got a Headache podcast. I'm your host, Dennis the Menace. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm not really sure if you've heard about this already. I know this is not something that is extremely popular. You really have to be paying attention to geopolitics to know about certain subjects. But Donald Trump said he was going to impose a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada. The reason is because there was a trade deficit between these nations. And it seemed, especially in Canada's situation, like we were holding up their entire country, all the free money we were sending, while at the same time, they had laws to limit our businesses' access to their nation. Getting something from somebody and not giving it back in return doesn't seem very friendly or neighborly, but that's what's been going on between us and Canada and Mexico. Both the Mexican president and the Canadian president came out projecting strength. However, within 48 hours of the announcement, both nations have decided to change their behavior so they can receive 30 more days to negotiate a long-standing agreement with the United States of America. According to the president of Mexico and Canada, they were going to implement their own tariffs against us, and they began to call this a trade war. If you pay close attention to the things that they said in their speeches, they made sure not to really speak directly to the Mexican people, but they wanted to appeal to us, the American people. They wanted us to be in such an uproar that it will put pressure on the White House. Unfortunately for them, most people in the United States are watching dances on TikTok instead of paying attention to things like this. And so this is what happened.
We had a conversation with President Trump. Yesterday, through the embassy, we were informed that he would call today at 8 a.m. We had sought a conversation with him and requested a call. It was a long conversation, more than half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, something like that. We discussed topics of common interest. I told him that we had been working together on migration, and it had been effective. Our approach has always been based on protecting and respecting human rights. We also discussed our shared interest in reducing fentanyl trafficking between Mexico and the United States. At the end, he asked how long we could put the tariffs on hold, and I told him, let's put them on hold permanently. He then asked, well, for how long? I responded, let's pause them for a month, and I'm confident that in a month, we will deliver results for both his people and Mexico. At the same time, I explained the gravity of the number of high-powered firearms illegally coming into Mexico from the U.S. These high-powered weapons empower criminal groups and give them firepower. We also asked the U.S. to help prevent arms trafficking from their country into ours. He agreed.
Not to be outdone, Donald Trump had a conversation with Justin Trudeau, and then the news broke on Canada.
Bring Vashi in now. We've managed to connect with her again. Okay, Vashi, 30-day reprieve.
30-day reprieve, that's the headline, Sandy.
Right.
Breathe at least a month-long sigh of relief, the Prime Minister putting on X just moments ago. I just had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. 10,000 also the number of troops that Mexico announced would be heading to their border. The statement goes on to say from the Prime Minister, Sandy, in addition, and this is all new, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I have also, the Prime Minister writes, signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be, backing it up with $200 million. Proposed tariffs, and here is the headline, Sandy, will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together. So the crisis we thought would be taking place as of midnight tonight is averted for at least a month.
Okay, and that buys us some time, but
whenever somebody's making a negotiation, it's important for the person who has the most power to still offer an olive branch and let that person save face and make sure that they still can project strength and victory back home. That's just one of the rules of dealing with these things. So, of course, the president of Mexico and the outgoing prime minister of Canada have made it seem like they've negotiated something after having some serious conversations with the United States. But that's not what happened. What happened was a 25% tariff on either one of their economies would have devastated their economies, and it would have hurt them so much more than it would have hurt us here in the United States. I'm going to give you an example that I hope most of the people here can understand. If you're a man out there and you have decided that when you first meet a woman, you want to lead with your accomplishments, you want to lead with your wallet, and you want to lead with trying to please this woman, most of the time, she may stick around, but she will not have genuine desire for you or respect for you. When she gets around her friends, she's going to use that time to tell everybody about what she can make you do. In front of your face, everything seems good. You know, you hanging out, you're not really getting no play. Or maybe you're getting a little bit, but you ain't getting nothing serious. And over time, you being the person that's trying to lead with your wallet, you start to feel like you're being strung along. Like, man, I'm giving her all of this, but she hanging out with Tyrone.
I'm Tyrone. Fuck having romantic dinner. I'm here to fuck somebody's wife.
That's exactly what happened with Mexico, allowing China to use its country to set up warehouses and send products through our free trade agreement directly into the United States. Even though the first Trump administration put tariffs on China 4 or 5 years ago. But not only Canada and Mexico. Check this out.
European Union leaders are vowing to fight back against possible U.S. tariffs on their countries. EU leaders are in Brussels today for an informal defense retreat, focusing on relations with Russia and the United States. French President Emmanuel Macron told reporters that Europe has to react if attacked on the trade front.
C'est simple, nous on pense que la priorité elle est à cet agenda stratégique et de sécurité de nos frontières, et si nous étions attaqués sur des sujets commerciaux, l'Europe, comme une puissance qui se tient, devra se faire respecter et donc réagir.
However, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz did not rule out the possibility of cooperation, saying the alliance has the potential to react to U.S. tariffs.
Beide, die USA wie Europa, profitieren vom Warenaustausch, vom Austausch von Dienstleistungen. Wenn jetzt Zollpolitik das schwierig macht, dann wäre das schlecht für die USA, schlecht für Europa. Klar ist, als starker Wirtschaftsraum können wir selber unsere Dinge gestalten und können auch auf Zollpolitiken mit Zollpolitiken reagieren. Das müssen und werden wir dann auch tun, aber es sollte die Perspektive und das Ziel sein, dass wir so vorgehen, dass es auf Kooperation hinausläuft.
Donald Trump has already announced that he is going to go after the EU. But these people consider themselves our friends. Think about that for a second. You have a friend who will take from you, but when you're in need, they won't give anything back. For me, all my relationships must be mutually beneficial. And I'm not just talking about money, because somebody may not have the same finances that you have, and that's fine. But there are other ways to give and show your appreciation. What do you think about it? Do you think Donald Trump made the right move? Do you believe that these tariffs are going to work in Europe? Let me know in the comment section. I want to know what you think about it. I'm going to keep an eye on this story. We'll see what happens in 30 days. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The comment section is open. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.